Just focus on the screen. When we talk about history, history is divided into two: ancient, medieval, and modern. So when I talk about history, just remember we have ancient, medieval, and modern. When we talk about ancient India or ancient Indian history, mostly your exams, the focus will be from 2500 BC till 750 AD. So BC means before Christ, AD is Anno Domini. Okay, so just remember that from 2500 we go in the reverse of the numbers, and after zero, then there you have 1, 2, 3, 4 till 750 AD. Medieval is 750 AD till you can say 1757 AD. 1757 AD is when the Britishers they capture Bengal, and modern is 1757 to 1947 AD. Okay, so this is ancient, medieval, modern. Okay, now you must be thinking, why are we studying, or why exams are focusing on these ancient history, medieval history, modern history? Many a times these questions comes to your mind, right? हम सोचते हैं स्कूल में कि क्यों हम पढ़ते हैं, why are we studying history when it is already done? You must understand the role of history in the future. Whatever steps you are going to take, it is after looking at history. Whenever a question comes to your mind कि हम history क्यों पढ़ रहे हैं, what you have to ask yourself is or what you have to tell yourself, so that we don't repeat the mistakes which were done in the past, and we take the good things which were done earlier. Okay, so that is why we study history. You must understand that. Like in your life also, if you have done some mistakes in the past, like you have not studied, okay, पहले अगर तुमने पढ़ाई वगैरह नहीं की है and then you failed the exam, you know, you see behind, अच्छा मैंने ये सब चीजें नहीं की थी, इसके लिए मैं फेल हो गया या हो गई, and then you study accordingly. And then sometimes you also see, okay, I've done so much of hard work, जिसकी वजह से मुझे रिजल्ट मिला, I came first, or I was appreciated, मुझे मेडल मिला, स्पोर्ट्स हो या किसी भी चीज में हो. सो हिस्ट्री का इंपॉर्टेंस ये होता है. सो हिस्ट्री इज one of the most important subject, and I would tell you, since today we are focusing on history, you will be listening to this very great, this is said by many of the great personalities. One of them is Abraham Lincoln. He said, only those who know history can create history. Okay, so very nice sentence about the subject history. So today focusing on history, why you are studying history is very, very important. Okay, so if you want to create history in the future, you should be able to know history. And if you also notice, various, you must have heard our Prime Minister Narendra Modi giving speech and all. He always starts with history. So having said that, so our focus will be on history. You all have understood why we should study history. And yes, again, it is important for your exams. So exams के लिए important है, but सिर्फ उसको exams के लिए important है, इसके लिए पढ़ रहे हैं, ऐसा मत समझो. लाइफ में हिस्ट्री जानना बहुत जरूरी है, क्योंकि again I'm repeating, only those who know history can create history. Okay, so I hope all of you or some of you in the group will be able to create history in the future. But yes, as you know, first we have to know our history. So we'll be knowing the history today. I told you about ancient India, medieval India, and modern India. Okay, I'm going to share the screen and we're going to have a PPT. Sneha ma'am. Hello, Sneha ma'am. Just a second. Krishna, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Lisha, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Vansh and Vedangi, can you all hear me? Hello, Vansh.
Yes, sir.
Yes, yes. Now, what I want you all to do is, if I'm going to share my screen, okay? If I am on mute and y'all don't hear anything and all, no, y'all can just let me know, okay? That I'm on mute or something has happened. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So I'm just sharing the screen again. So as I was telling you all, history plays a very important role. So I've made a presentation for you, okay? And we are going to use this presentation now, okay? So first is history. When we talk about history, we talk about historiography. Historiography means what? We know there is ancient history, medieval history, modern history. Just now I told you. Ancient history का मतलब क्या है? It starts with Indus Valley civilization. उसके पहले Stone Age वगैरह था, और it goes up to the post Gupta period. Then we know about medieval history. In medieval history, we know about Mughals, Delhi Sultanate, Marathas, etc. Then we know about modern history, about the Britishers. The question will be, how do we know about history? Has it been written somewhere? Have we got some evidence? कोई चीजें मिला है हमें, या कोई हमें आके सीधा बोला है कि okay, there is someone, there was someone like this and I was here and I was there? The third option cannot be true. कोई इतना हजारों साल तक नहीं रह सकता. Average life of an Indian is around 69 to 70 years. 69 years. Okay, so and average life around the world is around, you can say, 75 to 80 years. So it's not possible that someone from living in 1,000 years and then coming to, so that's not possible. So historiography means, how do we know about history? हिस्ट्री के बारे में हमें कैसे पता चलता है? Okay, so let's see the tradition of Indian historiography. Okay, so when we talk about historiography, our focus will be on the, what is the traditions of Indian historiography. We'll be focusing on more of the Indian historiography. We will not be focusing on the Western tradition. Okay, so more focus will be on the Indian historiography. So we see various periods of Indian history. Ancient history, as I have told you, it is from 2500 BCE to 750 AD. Medieval 750 to 1757, and modern 1757 to 1947. Okay, so in the ancient period, we had a lot of, when we talk about the uh, ancient period historiography, we start with Indus Valley civilization. How do we know about this Indus Valley civilization, or how do we know about the great things that was done by our uh, ancestors? It was memories of the great deeds of our ancestors. First, you must have heard it by some stories. बहुत सारे stories होते हैं. Mythological lore, like you have Mahabharat and Ramayana and Vedas and all. उससे हमें पता चलता है. Memories of social transitions. ठीक है? इन सब चीजों से हमें पता चलता है कि what happened in the ancient period. Now these are oral recitals. मतलब first source of our ancient history is, we have heard it. I'll give you a very good example of the Rig Vedic period. ठीक है. You must remember Indus Valley civilization जो है, whenever you're in your portion, it starts with Indus Valley civilization. Indus Valley civilization के बारे में हमें पता चला था through various architecture, you can say, pottery, or in a one word you can say archaeology से हमें पता चला. So if you all want to, you all can just make notes, okay? Just make the notes. First is Indus Valley civilization, and in that we came to know by archaeology. Okay. After Indus Valley civilization, we have the Rig Vedic period. You must have heard about the Rig Vedas. You must have heard about the Vedas. We have Rig Ved, Samved, Yajurved, Atharvaved. Four main Vedas. These were all, especially the Rig Vedas, was sung. इसे गाया जाता था. Shruti. So it was oral recitals. Initially, ये जो books हमने लिखे हुए हैं, they were not written. इसे orally बोला जाता था. So you have to remember. So the first source that we know is about the oral recitals. The second source which is important is the archaeology. As I told you, Indus Valley civilization जो है, it is all on archaeology. You must have heard about Indus Valley civilization, the beautiful cities that we have. They were big cities, okay, beautiful ones, and somewhere more planned than what we have today. Indus, if you know about in detail in the future, when we do about Indus Valley civilization, you'll be shocked to know कि there were bathrooms in each and every house. There was closed drainage. Roads were meeting at 90 degrees, and it was very well planned. And this I'm talking about 4,500 years back, not 45, not 100, 4,500 years back. That is 2,500 BC. About Indus Valley civilization. How do we know about Indus Valley civilization? कैसे पता चलता है हमें Indus Valley civilization के बारे में? So it is because of the seals. So in front of you, you have the seals which are present. Okay. The Indians mastered the art of writing as early as 3rd millennium BC. 3rd millennium BC is the 2500 BC के आसपास, or perhaps before that. So you can see the seal. This is all written. यहाँ पर ये सब चीजें लिखा हुआ था. This is called as the pictographic script. Pictographic script. So I spoke to you about oral. How do we know about history? Oral recitals. Second is by archaeology. Some things we have found. And in Indus Valley civilization, it is because of these things. However, the Harappan script is not yet successfully deciphered. चीजें मिली हैं, लिखी हुई हैं वहां पर, हरप्पन या इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन, बट हमें उसको समझ में नहीं आया है. All these you can expect in your answers, okay? So be very careful. So you have the Indus Valley civilization seals. So I have told you about first is Indus Valley civilization. Then I spoke to you about Rig Vedic period. That is the Vedic period, Vedas. The Vedas are all about oral recitals. याद रखना 4 Vedas थे. Rigved, Yajurved, Samved, Atharvaved. Okay. After the Rig Vedic period, there is something called as Age of Buddha. Jainism and Buddhism, you must have heard about Lord Gautam Buddha. They start coming. They start rising. Buddhism rises. Jainism rises. You must have heard about Jainism. So when we talk about the flow of history, it starts with Indus Valley civilization, then Rig Vedic period, then later Vedic period, then Age of Buddha. In in the age of Buddha and after that, during the Maurya period, so the first kings come into picture in ancient history. Chandragupta Maurya. You must have heard about Chandragupta Maurya and his teacher Chanakya, Kautilya. So the earliest known written documents of historical nature found in India are from the inscriptions. So during the Chandragupta period, there is inscriptions which are going to be present. Okay, so inscriptions on rocks, inscriptions on pillars, etc. Okay, so after Chandragupta, we have Bindusar. After Bindusar, we have Ashoka. So the earliest known written documents of historical nature found in India are form of inscriptions. So again, I'm repeating, we have Indus Valley civilization, which uh, about which we come to know because of the archaeology. Then we have Rig Veda and later Veda. Because of oral recitals, we know about it, because of the Rig Veda and because of the later Vedic period, later Vedic texts and Ramayana and Mahabharata. After that, Jainism, Buddhism, and Maurya. Maurya we know because of the inscriptions. His edicts are inscribed on natural rocks and stone pillars. So if you see the screen, see on the rock, some things are written. You all must remember this is Brahmi script. Script is different. Brahmi was there, uh, as well as the other scripts were there. Greek was there, Aramaic was there. But you must understand the kings, that is especially Ashoka, was speaking to his people. Laws were made, and on the pillars and on the rocks, it was all written. So from the first century, begin to occur coins. Now slowly, coins, metal images, sculptures, copper plates start. So remember, Indus Valley civilization starts with archaeology. So we are studying the historiography. Historiography मतलब हमें उस चीजों के बारे में, उस एरिया के बारे में या फिर उस एरा के बारे में कैसे पता चलता है. So we start with Indus Valley civilization, which is through archaeology, and then comes the Rig Vedic and the later Vedic period by oral recitals. Then we have the age of Buddha and Maurya period, the stone and pillar inscriptions. After Maurya period comes the post Maurya period. नाम से पता चलता है post मतलब after Mauryas. So when we talk about post Maurya period, you have to remember, how do we know about post Maurya period? Main sources are coins. You must have heard about numismatics, study of coins. Archaeology is study of the various remains, coins, metals, sculptures, and also on copper plate. So because of all these things, we come to know about the post-Maurya period. Okay, so systematically, you must remember all this. They provide historical information. When we talk about post-Maurya period, this period was important for trade. यहाँ पर trade बहुत ज़्यादा होने लगा. Okay, so trade is very important. We get to know about the dates of various kings, dynastic genealogies, territorial extent, and administration of various empires and kingdoms, and also important political events, social organizations, climate, famines, etc., of the respective times. So, because of the coins, because of the texts, because of the copper metal, that is a plate, उसके वजह से उनके अंदर जो इंस्क्रिप्शंस थी, जिससे हमें इस एरा के बारे में पता चलता है. Okay, so again, Indus Valley civilization is there. I'm repeating again and again so that you remember Indus Valley civilization. After that comes Rig Ved and later Vedic period, oral recitals. Then we have Age of Buddha and Chandragupta Maurya, that is the Maurya period. uh, we come to know because of the rock inscriptions, pillars. Post Maurya period because of coins, images, sculpture, plates, etc. So these are the various important sources of history. How do we come to know the various eras? Now let's see specific sources. The ancient Indian literature includes Ramayana, Mahabharata, Puran, Jainism, and Buddhist texts. As I just told you, initially these texts were sung. Sung means oral recitals was done. It was put into song and then it was transferred from one generation to other. आज रामायण महाभारत लिखा हुआ है और आजकल हम लिखा हुआ चीज भी नहीं देखते हैं. टुडे वी आल्सो watch it on the TV because of the series of Ramayana and Mahabharata which is there. Okay, so earlier it was sung, later it was written. Epics like Mahabharata, Ramayana, Puran, Jain and Buddhist texts. Second is historical accounts by Indian authors. So sources कौन से हैं? First is the literature, second is historical accounts. Now, Indian authors, you must remember there were many Indian authors also who wrote. Okay. Uh, like if I have to give you an example, Hari Sena. Okay, you must just remember Hari Sena. He was the poet in Samudragupta's time. You must have heard about Kalidas, Shakespeare of Sanskrit. Okay, Bana Bhatta. So these are all Indian authors. Okay, so we have Indian literature, Indian authors. By foreign travelers के अकाउंट से भी हमें पता चलता है many ambassadors came to India. Example of the ambassador, you must remember, there is, you must, if you want to, you can just write down, there is someone called as Fayan, Fahien. Wen Sang, Huentsang, Wen Sang. Now, these people have written a lot of things about India. So foreign travelers, so they'll ask you the questions, how do we know about Indian history? Is it by literature? Is it by historical accounts or travelogues? You must say all of the above. Then we have writings of biographies of kings and dynastic histories. Okay, so we have many biographies which was written, autobiographies were written, like Harsha himself, King Harsha. You will be studying when we do history. Harshvardhan. Okay, so he has also written a book called Harsha Charita. So biographies and all are also important. So when we talk about historiography, remember oral recitals or the written literature, foreign travelers, Indian accounts, and even the kings and the dynastic histories. So here you have the example, writing of biographies of kings and dynastic histories marks an important step in the Indian historiography. Example is Harsh Charita. Harsh Charita was it was written by Bana Bhatta by and Harsh Charita, you must remember, is one of an important you can say source of post Gupta period. Now, what does post Gupta period mean? So when we divide history, I told you till post Maurya, that is Indus Valley civilization. Then I told you about Rig Vedic period, age of Buddha, later Vedic period, age of Buddha. Then we have Maurya, post Maurya, Gupta, and post Gupta period. सो एंशियंट हिस्ट्री को तुम ऐसे बांट सकते हो. एंड पोस्ट गुप्ता पीरियड वी हैव very important person called as Bana Bhatta, who has written about King Harshvardhan. It portrays a realistic picture of the social, economic, political, religious, and cultural life during the king's time. So the autobiographies which are there, they were not just for praising the king. उनको खुश करने के लिए नहीं था. एक रियलिस्टिक पिक्चर था सोशल, इकोनॉमिक, पॉलिटिकल, रिलीजियस एंड कल्चरल लाइफ. When you studied history in your whenever we do the schooling, in our schooling mostly history is taught with the only political point of view. Who was the king and what did he do? But there should be other dimensions also, like economics, society, religious, cultural. So all these accounts, all these historiography, you get all economic, political, social, religious, and cultural life. So we are just seeing examples now. Okay, now this is a Sagora plate, copper plate, which was, I had told you, during the time of Maurya period, copper plates and Maurya and the post Maurya, copper plates and images and sculptures and coins and all these things came. So this is an example of copper plate where inscriptions were done. Means things were written on the copper plate, and that is why we know कि मौर्य period में क्या क्या हो रहा था. So the copper plate was found in Sagora, which is in UP. Okay, so Sagora plate, it is in UP. It is supposed to be from Mauryan period, Ashoka's Sagora plate. The inscription on it is in Brahmi script. So just remember Brahmi script. You must have even written and you know about Devanagari script. The Hindi and the Marathi that we write is Devanagari script. And before Devanagari, we had Brahmi. So from there it comes. About Sagora plate, symbols known as tree in railing and mountain at the beginning of the inscription also occur on Panchmark coins. Okay, so what can you expect? What is there in the Sagora plate? So you have trees in railing, mountains are there. So all these things are there in the Sagora plate. Another symbol which looks like a structure erected on four pillars is indicative of the granary. Okay, so if you see the Sagora plate carefully, you have mountains, you have tree in railing, you have structures like granary and all present. So gives a lot of information. The inscription records a royal order, and as I had told you, it shows the kings were speaking to the people. They were giving orders to the people. It is supposed to be suggestive of precautions during the famine. And the granary is there. It shows might be a lot of famines and all were there. And to save themselves from famine, this was used. So this is about ancient history. Remember ancient history from 2500 BC to 1750, sorry, 750 AD. And we have Indus Valley civilization. Then we have Rig Vedic period, later Vedic period. Then we have Age of Buddha, Maurya, post Maurya, and finally Gupta and post Gupta period. And we have seen हर एक चीजों में और हर एक एरा में what are the important sources of their information. कैसे पता चलता है हमें इन areas के बारे में. So that is called as historiography. Okay, so we have seen oral recitals, and we saw archaeology, coins, sculptures, written books, foreign accounts, Indian accounts, and even you can say biographies. ठीक है, तो ये सब चीजें थोड़ा सा फोकस करके तुम्हें जानना जरूरी है. सो वी फिनिश्ड विद द एंशिएंट हिस्ट्री. नेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट इज मेडिवल. Medieval history starts with 750 AD. When we talk about medieval history, okay, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Okay, so medieval history, we always think there were Mughals and Sultanate. Answer is no. Medieval history actually starts with Rajputs. Okay, so during the end of the ancient period, the Rajputs are rising. So medieval history actually starts from that period where the Rajputs are rising. Okay, then after that we have the Delhi Sultanate and the Mughals. Okay, so you have to just remember this. How do we know about the Rajputs and all the others? So important source for the Rajput is literature. A lot of literature written about the Rajputs. Okay, and one of the most important one being Kalhan's Raj Tarangini, which is there in front of you. Kalhan's Raj Tarangini. Now, Kalhan's Raj Tarangini is very, very important. It was written by Kalhan, which tells you about the history of almost whole of India, especially of Kashmir. Okay, so remember it is about whole of India, especially about Kashmir, from the 7th century till the 11th 12th century. So remember this historiography. Kalan himself says that he wrote this text after critically examining various sources. Good thing about Kalhan's Raj Tarangini is he did not उन्होंने हवे में नहीं लिखा ये. उन्होंने दूसरे टेक्स्ट्स को पढ़ के दूसरा रिसर्च वगैरह करके. सो रिमेंबर हिस्टोरियंस के लिए रिसर्च करना बहुत जरूरी है. दे डोंट जस्ट राइट हिस्ट्री, ऐसे ही कुछ स्टोरी बनाना नहीं शुरू करते. दे हैव टू डू रिसर्च ऑन वेरियस literature, stones and archaeology and coins, etc. And same way, Kalan also wrote after critically examining various sources. Now, which are the sources he wrote about from? Inscriptions, coins, dynastic records. Remember, the sources are inscriptions, coins है और dynastic records है, and local traditions. Finally, remains of ancient monuments. So Kalhan sources, what were they? Remember, inscriptions were there. Inscription का मतलब क्या है? कोई rock हो गया, metal हो गया, उसके ऊपर तुमने carving कर लिया. That's inscription. Coins, everybody knows what coins are. Records, dynastic records मतलब हर king अपना record वगैरह रखता था, तो उसके records को देख के. Local traditions and finally remains of ancient monuments. Remains of ancient monuments का मतलब all those archaeological things which were there. So by researching on all these 5 things, Kalan has written Raj Tarangini. So it becomes very important and beautiful. Now, in the medieval period, as I had told you, it starts with Rajputs. So whenever we tell about medieval period, doesn't mean that suddenly the Muslim rulers have started entering India. No, starts with the Rajputs. Slowly, the Muslims are entering India. How, why they enter India? It is because of various factors, and one of the factors are the India's you can say decline politically, economically, socially. India decline हो रहा था. That is why the Islamic rulers now start coming into India. In the medieval history, in the courts of Muslim rulers were influenced by Arabic and the Persian historiography. A very important person in front of you, remember this name, Ziauddin Barani. Okay, he was there as a writer for almost 9 emperors. 9 एम्परर के लिए वो हिस्ट्री राइटिंग किया और राइटर के जैसे काम किया. In Tariq-e-Firoz Shahi, a book written by him, he has stated the purpose of historiography. So many times what happens is we we read history, but we don't understand the historiography. Historiography is very, very important. And one thing you must remember, Ziauddin Barani was like the most important historian. So everybody remembers Ziauddin Barani and his book Tariq-e-Firoz Shahi. According to him, the historian's duty is not limited only to record or only to the recording of rulers' valor and policies of welfare. According to Ziauddin Barani, खाली रूलर के ब्रेवरी के बारे में नहीं लिखना है. He has to write each and everything which the historian is seeing. He should write about the ruler's failings, and incorrect policies also. Barani states that a historian should also take into consideration impact of the teachings of the wise, the learned, and the saints on the cultural life of the people. Thus, Barani expanded the scope of historiography. So, historiography जो है is not just writing some books on the good things about the king. No, it is writing very objectively. किसी की ज्यादा प्रशंसा और वो सब चीजें नहीं. Objectively you have to write. Okay, and give the correct information without any favor. So Ziauddin Barani is very, very important. Okay. Impact of the teachings of the wise, the learned, and the saints on cultural life of the people. So all these are included in the writings of Barani. Thus, Barani expanded the scope of historiography. For the historians in Mughal courts, praising the emperors and exhibition of loyalty became more important. Okay, so we have we start medieval history with Rajputs. Remember, Rajputs are there until 1191, 1192. 1191, 1192 में you must have heard about पृथ्वीराज चौहान. पृथ्वीराज चौहान को हरा दिया जाता है and Muhammad Ghori enters. Remember, how do the Islamic rulers enter? It was earlier also, but पृथ्वीराज चौहान के टाइम पे पीक पे था. पृथ्वीराज चौहान को बाद में मार दिया गया, बाहर फेंक दिया गया, मार दिया गया, and the Delhi Sultanate became powerful. After the Delhi Sultanate comes Mughal period. So Delhi Sultanate का पीरियड है 1206 से लेके 1526. मुगल 1526 से लेके 1757. मुगल कोर्ट में क्या होता था? You can say जी हजूरी. Okay, so Ji Hazuri means what? A lower level officer always saying yes to the upper level officer. Like many of the government servants, सीधा अगर मिनिस्टर ने कुछ बोला तो मुंडी हिलाते हैं. जी हजूरी. They don't tell the truth, but they tell what the ministers want to hear. The custom of adding suitable poetic quotes and pictures was also introduced. Quotes and pictures were there. Babur, the founder of Mughal Empire, wrote an autobiography, Tuzuke Babri. So autobiographies are famous here also. We have seen one by Bhana Bhatta, Harsha Charita. Here also important biography is Tuzuke Babri. Okay, later it was converted into Persian. So you have to just remember this. It contains the descriptions of battles fought by him. So it's the battles which was fought by him. That's Tuzuke Babri. Babur also recorded his minute observations of various regions and cities traveled by him. Babur traveled to various cities. You must have heard about Babur. So he's a person who brought Mughal rule to India. Babur, after Babur is Humayun, Babar's son. After Humayun, there is a gap. You must have heard about Sher Shah Suri. Then Akbar. After Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb. If possible, just write it down. Babar. Then we have Humayun. Then a brief gap. Sher Shah Suri. Again, Humayun comes back. Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, Aurangzeb. So this is a hierarchy, or you can say flow. Hello. So this is the flow you have to remember. Okay. So Babar also traveled to various cities. बहुत सारे cities में travel हुए. Okay. Local economy, customs, and the flora. He also saw बहुत सारे
light.
someone is on. Okay. So we have local economy, customs, and the flora present. So बाबर ने ये सब चीजों के बारे में लिखा था. अबुल फजल्स अकबरनामा. अबुल फजल ने अकबरनामा भी लिखा है. सी यू हैव टू रिमेंबर, हाँ, मेडिवल पीरियड में कौन से टेक्स्ट इंपॉर्टेंट है. सो यू हैव अबुल फजल्स अकबरनामा इज देयर. बाबर का तुजुके बाबरी इज देयर. His method of collecting authentic historical documents and their scrutiny is looked upon as devoid of bias and hence realistic. So Akbarnama is very realistic. So this is very important. Tuzuki Babri also. Then we have very important Al-Baruni. Kitab ul Hind was written by Al-Baruni. So when we talk about historiography during the time of medieval period, कौन से थे. बाबर का. सो आई हैव टोल्ड मेडिवल पीरियड जो है स्टार्ट होता है राजपूत, फिर उसके बाद में दिल्ली सल्तनत आता है, देन मुगल्स आता है. एंड राजपूत के टाइम पे कलहंस राज तरंगिनी इज इम्पॉर्टेंट. वी हैव तुजुके बाबरी बाय बाबर. अबुल फजल के टाइम पे, और अबुल फजल ने जो लिखा था अकबरनामा. इम्पॉर्टेंट अगेन इज Kitabul Hind by Al-Biruni. In the following period, many books about India were also written by foreign scholars. There were foreign scholars also who wrote about India. Okay, and some of the books, remember, Tajul Masir by Hasanun Nizami, Minajus Siraj, Tabakat-e-Nasiri, Taimur-e-Lang, that is, who wrote about autobiography, was written by Taimur-e-Lang, the autobiography of Taimur. So when we do history, you'll understand who's Taimur. And finally, Tariq-e-Mubarak Shahi, Yahya bin Ahmad Sirhindi. So these are some of the historiography you should remember. In your NTSC, these questions will be asked. Various works by Amir Khusro. Okay, so these are the information. So information by various Indian writers and even foreign travelers. Okay, so we have later foreign travelers and Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb, you must have noticed or you must have heard, he was the last Mughal emperor who was powerful. After that, Mughal empire declines. So you have Babar, Humayun, you have Sher Shah Suri, Akbar, Jahangir, Shah Jahan, and finally Akbar. After Akbar, the emperors are not that good. Accounts of foreign travelers are Ibn Battuta, Abdul Razak, Marco Polo, remember, Niccolo de Conti, Then we have Barbosa, Domingo Paes, Ishwardas Nagar, Bhimsen Saxena, Kafi Khan, Niccolo Manucci. These are the various, you can say, historiography or history writers. Their accounts provide us with historic information of medieval India. Okay. Now, very important historiography is about Marathas. So we saw historiography of the Rajputs. We saw about historiography of Delhi Sultanate, Mughals. Now focusing on Marathas. And in Marathas, you must remember one of the most important is Bakhar. Bakhar is an important type of historical document, and this is how we come to know about Maratha history. So when we talk about Maratha history, very important is Chhatrapati Shivaji. Chhatrapati Shivaji's father was Shahaji, and then we have Sambhaji, and then Shahu. These were the important kings, Maratha kings. Then Peshwa becomes powerful. So this is Bakhar. We know about all this by Bakhar. It contains eulogies of heroes and stories of historic events, battles, lives of
Excuse
great
me,
men.
sir.
Yes, yes.
Sir, can you please show the slide of writers?
One second. This one? This one?
So no, yes, sir. Yes, sir. This one.
Yes. So you have, see, one side you have foreign travelers, on the other side you have accounts of during the Aurangzeb's time.
Yes, sir.
Foreign,
Done, sir.
so
Thank you, sir.
yes, yeah. So when we say foreign travelers, no, you must remember these were like coming to India as guests. Ibn Battuta, he was a guest of, when you do history, you will understand Muhammad bin Tughlaq. So we are doing historiography. We're not doing history now at the moment. We are understanding how we come to know about the Tughlaqs. So it is by Ibn Battuta. And then Abdul Razak is there. He's for Vijayanagar Empire and Marco Polo, etc. So these are all the uh, history writers. Got it? Is it done?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So this is the accounts of various historic information in the medieval period. I was talking to you about Bakhar. It is a eulogy of the heroes and stories of lives of great men. Okay. So Sabhasad Bakhar. Sabhasad Bakhar was written by Krishnaji Anand Sabhasad during the reign of Chhatrapati Rajaram. Okay, so Sabhasad Bakhar was during the reign of Rajaram. Okay, so just remember this. These are some of the examples. Okay, it is an important Bakhar for getting information about the rule of Chhatrapati Shivaji. Okay, so which is a important Bakhar? Sabhasad Bakhar, you must remember. Okay. So we come to know about Chhatrapati Shivaji. Another important is Bhau Sahibanchi Bakhar, describes the battle of Panipat. About it is about Sadashiv Rao Bhau. So Battle of Panipat 1761. Just remember this. Bhau Sahibanchi Bakhar. Another Bakhar entitled Panipatchi Bakhar is also about the same event. Panipat, Battle of Panipat is very important for the Maratha rule. Another Bakhar entitled Panipatchi Bakhar is also important. Holkaranchi Bakhar provides information about Holkars uh, and their contribution to Maratha. So just remember these were the sources about the Maratha rule. So we know how we know about ancient India. We have seen how we know about the Mughals. We also know how we know about the Marathas. And you must have heard about the Povada. So if not, just remember Povadas and all. These were songs sung for the great kings, Povada and the Bakhan. Okay. So in Bakhar, you have biographies of kings are there, description of various events are there, history of a sect, autobiographies, dynastic history, grievance, mythologies, administration. So in Bakhars, you can expect this. Okay. Now we have seen ancient, we have seen medieval, and finally modern history. When I tell you about modern history, we know when the British entered India, uh, Mughals were declining, and around that time we consider as modern history. Does not mean that the British were modern and they helped India to become modern. So you must understand that that's not the meaning of that. British entered India, and British played a big role in looting India. They took a lot of money from India. They exploited us. They Many were killed. Many Indians were killed. Our ancestors. So all this was happening during the British. So how do we know about whatever was happening? So when we talk about historiography of the modern period, in the 20th century, the Indian archaeological exploration research started under the British rule. So the first studies of history in India started actually during the British rule. Understand that. They initially wrote history in such a manner that it will benefit them. So their history was written in such a manner that Indians felt that the British came. Okay. So in the 20th century, the archaeological exploration research started under British rule. A number of ancient sites were excavated under supervision of Sir Alexander Cunningham. So remember this person. Various sites were there. He was the first Director General of Archaeological Survey of India. He chose mainly sites mentioned in the Buddhist texts for this purpose. Harappan civilization was discovered during the tenure of Sir John Marshall. The word Harappa or Indus Valley civilization was given by Sir John Marshall. And so must have seen how Britishers are playing a role in historiography. Because of this discovery, the Indian history could be traced to 3rd millennium BC or even earlier. Many British officials in India wrote about Indian history. Their writings display strong influence of colonial policies of the British. So they wrote in such a manner that it will benefit them, showing that good the Britishers came to India. 3 volumes, very important, of History of British India written by James Mill. So this is a very important 3 volume by James Mill, History of British India. This was the first book on Indian history written by the British historian. It clearly reflects an absence of objective perspective and prejudice about various aspects of Indian culture. Now, this was written to attack Indian culture. Just remember this. The History of India, written by Mount Stuart Elphinstone, Governor of Bombay, now Mumbai, was published in 1841. Okay, so when we talk about historiography during the time of modern history, so remember James Mill is important. First was Alexander Cunningham, Mount Stuart Elphinstone. So you must have heard about Elphinstone. He was the governor of Bombay in 1841. The period of Maratha Empire is very important in Indian history. Grant Duff, remember this name, Grant Duff stands out among the British officers who wrote about Maratha history. So we come to know from Bakhar, we come to know some things written by Grant Duff. He wrote the book entitled History of Marathas. This book is published in 3 volumes. Grant Duff writing also shows the British inclination of condemning Indian culture and history. As I have told you, They condemned, they criticized our culture. Similarly, Colonel Todd wrote about Rajasthan history. William Wilson Hunter on again 2 volumes on Indian history. So this is the British historians. So they must have written history benefiting themselves, but there were Indian historians who countered. Nilkant Janardhan Kirtane. Okay, remember Nilkant Janardhan Kirtane and Vishwanath Kashinath Rajwade. These were now Indian historians. They were two historians who took upon the task of exposing Grand Duff's writings. So they were targeting the Marathas, Grand Duff. So we have Kirtane and Rajwade who countered them. So which were the various ideological frameworks who wrote Indian history during the modern period? So one is the pre-independence era and second is the post-independence, means after independence. 1947, before that, the historians were, or the history writers were colonial, that is the Britishers, and who were supporting the British, Indians who were supporting the British. Orientalist, Orientalist means who were supporting the Eastern culture. Nationalist, who was supporting India. Marxist, more focus on the poor, the agriculturist, and the farmers and workers. Subaltern, again, the lowest sections of the society. Feminist. So this is the ideological frameworks. So just remember, colonial, Orientalist, nationalist before independence, after independence, Marxist, subaltern, and feminist. Early scholars who studied and wrote Indian history were mainly British officials and Christian missionaries. So initially, these people wrote Indian history. Their prejudice is clearly reflected in the way some of them have ridiculed Indian culture and they attacked Indian culture. They showed that Indian culture, or they told us that Indian culture was bad, inferior. Their writings were used to justify colonial British rule. 5 volumes of Cambridge History of India, published during 1922 1937, are distinct examples. So there were 5 volumes on Cambridge History of India. So we are seeing various people who wrote about history, wrote about Indian history in modern time. That is from Alexander Cunningham to Colonel Todd, Grant Duff, Elphinstone, etc. Now, Orientalist history. When we talk about Orientalist history, means what? They were they were supporting the Eastern culture. They were happy with the Eastern culture, and it includes some Britishers also. Many European scholars felt curious about civilizations and countries of the East. Some scholars felt admiration and respect for them. These were called as Orientalists. So just remember who were Orientalists. They were scholars who were supporting the East. The Orientalists studied similarities between Sanskrit and various European languages. They focused on Vedic tradition and Sanskrit. Their studies resulted into formulating ancient language that could be mother of all Indo-European languages. So remember, Orientalists were more focused on Indian culture, culture of the East, and that is why they were trying to remove a link between Sanskrit and European languages. Sir William Jones was the founder and of the Asiatic Society in Kolkata. Okay, so just remember two names. We have Alexander Cunningham and Sir William Jones. You have to remember these two names. Very important. Then you have Frederick Max Muller. We had seen James Miller. You have Frederick Max Muller. He's an Orientalist. And he has written Sanskrit is the oldest language in the world. He was very interested in Sanskrit literature. Translated Sanskrit text Hitopdesh and edited 50 volumes of sacred books of the East. He also compiled Rig Veda, which has been published in 6 volumes. So we have Frederick Muller. Then we have lately Edward Said, a scholar who has re-evaluated the Orientalist writings, has thrown light on imperialistic interest on of Orientalistic scholars. So you must remember, Orientalist means they were interested in our culture and trying to find a link between Europeans and Indians. So we have seen uh, colonial writers, we have seen Orientalist writers. Now about nationalist historiography. This is a big, you must remember, a big line. Many were there, nationalist historians. So we have Ranade, we have Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Vishnu Shastri Chiplunkar, etc. Okay, so let's see who were they. So their writings are known as nationalistic writings. So first is Vishnu Shastri Chiplunkar in Maharashtra. Then he criticized the British officers or history written by the British. The nationalistic historians try to seek the golden era of Indian history. They are at times blamed for ignoring the critical analysis of the historical truth. So these were the nationalistic historians. So we have M.G. Ranade, Ramkrishna Gopal Bhandarkar, V.D. Savarkar, Rajendra Lal Mishra, Ramesh Chandra Mazumdar or R.C. Majumdar, Kashi Prasad Jaiswal, Radha Kumud Mukherjee, R.K. Mukherjee, Bhagwan Lal Indraji, Vasudev Vishnu Mirashi, and Anant Sadashiv Altekar. So these were all important nationalist scholars. M.G. Ranade has written The Rise of Maratha Power. According to him, it was not like a suddenly erupted forest fire. Okay, so he has written more about the Maratha history, M.G. Ranade. Okay, so even Rajwade is well known for writings in Marathi on varied subjects like history, linguistics, etymology, grammar. He was of the firm opinion that we should write our own history. He compiled and edited 25 volumes of Marathanच्या इतिहासाचे साधने. So just remember this. So it was Rajwade. You can see the pictures. So he founded the Bharat Itihas Samshodhak Mandal in Pune. V.K. Rajwade. Okay, so he writes human history is defined by time and place. Describing of any event necessitates that final portrayal should be spread on complete canvas. Okay, so a lot of things written by V.K. Rajwade. We also have Indian War of Independence by V.D. Savarkar, Vasudev Balwant Phadke. Okay, so that was before independence. Historiography after independence, we know we spoke more about cultural dimensions, economic, society, etc. Okay, so it's more about diversity, science, economic systems, political ideologies, cultural aspects. So after independence, focus was like this. Thus comes Marxist history, subaltern history, that is of the poor, and feminist history, focusing on women. Okay, so till here, historiography is very important. Later, all these are just not so important for y'all. Okay, just a second. Dr. Baba Saheb Ambedkar is very important. Feminist history is on women writers. Okay, so this is what all about it for historiography that you must understand and will be there for your exams. I hope a lot of things was covered and you have got an idea from the start when we talk about historiography, what comes to your mind and what is there. Okay, so if any doubt, please let me know. Does anyone have any doubt? Okay, I think there is no doubt. Uh, I think we are done with the lecture and the presentation. If any doubt, please do let me know, or please do get into contact with the Sneha ma'am or the other teachers.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, how many lessons are there for exam?
See, there are no proper lessons for the exam. They have just given historiography of India. Okay, so like how we have it in the uh, schools, no? In your school subject, there are one lesson, two
Yes,
lessons.
sir.
It is.
Sir, so we can refer our 10th standard textbook because in
Yes.
SSC board, which you thought, no, sir, that
Mhm.
that were there
Yes, so you
for
can
us.
you can refer also and take guidance also. More on this, we will have teachers calling you up personally and giving you all the guidance. Okay, so
Okay, sir.
they will just take a feedback and they'll also let you know how the situations are and they will fulfill your query. Okay,
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Sure, sir. Thank you, sir.
thanks a lot to everybody. Bye bye.
Bye, sir. Take care, sir.
Children's, I'll take the notes and whatever this from sir and I'll share it in the group. Okay?
Okay, ma'am. Yes,
And
ma'am.
tomorrow we have math lecture. So tomorrow and day after, both days, we have math lecture. Okay? Yeah?
Yes,
So you
ma'am.
people be on time.
Okay,
Always I
ma'am.
have to post on the group that you people have not joined or either call you. Okay? I'll
Yes,
post
ma'am.
this
Yes, ma'am.
history notes
Sorry,
also by
ma'am.
the end of the day, huh?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you got today's math, this you all
Yes,
referred, no?
ma'am.
And
Yes,
what else
ma'am.
did sir told here? Again, he was supposed to give some more questions or something.
In
Hello.
maths, ma'am.
Yesterday,
In
yeah.
maths, you're talking.
Yes, yes. Are you able to hear
No, ma'am.
me?
It's okay. Yes, ma'am. We
Okay,
can hear
done.
you.
Okay, done, done. Only Vedant.
Ma'am.
Ma'am, your voice is lagging.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am left the meeting.